As you may know, I have been making Christmas ornaments with fancy vignettes for many years. Up until now, you had to do all the work yourself. I am pleased to announce that I now have kits available where I have done all of the intricate cutting and everything will fit really well. All you have to do is glue it up and turn your ornament. Each kit contains 4 panels. The female pieces and all of the male pieces already cut, they come loose, ready for you to glue them up. We use identically the same methods and techniques to glue up the laser cut kits as we did when I first introduced the fancy Christmas ornament kits way back in 2006. Nothing has changed. In fact, here are a couple of clips from that DVD. In its most basic form, the polychromatic laminated vignette system consists of a core block, in this case 3 inches by 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 square. That's a good finish size to work to with 8/4 material. To that, we're going to add the material to glue onto it, and that's pretty simple. Here I've got maple and zebra wood, which would go like so, and we get that all glued up and set up. We end up with a block that looks something like this. If you look really closely, you can see a piece of veneer in here, and we go from a real basic system here to the same basic system, except we've added a second layer. We've added a layer of veneer, and what that does is give us a picture frame effect around the material for the picture frame, and really sets it off. Here are some examples. This is shop-made veneer, but it's about the same thickness of stuff that you'd buy. This happens to be birch, and I got this all the way down to under a 1/40 of an inch. It's very, very thin, and that's what we'd end up using on something like this. It's going to give us a very delicate, very fine picture frame effect. You need some way to grip it, and what I like to do is to take a waste block, some less expensive wood. In this case, this I think is recycled mahogany that I got off a pallet somewhere. I glue this together just end grain to end grain, and as a woodworker for the last 36 years or so, I'd always heard you can't glue end grain together. Well, look at all your segmented bowl folks and tell them you can't glue end grain to end grain. I put a liberal amount of yellow glue on here, centered up really, really well, because that makes a dramatic difference. These will be lopsided. One side will be bigger, the other side will be smaller. They'll be all, they won't work very well. So pay very, very strict attention. Get this thing centered. I usually use a 6-inch or so C-clamp. This is a little bit long. We could easily get away with 2 inches instead of 3. But glue this on here. This needs to set overnight. You can use CA glue, but I find a liberal amount of yellow glue to be much, much stronger. When I'm done, I'm going to end up with something that looks like this. This one happens to be a little bit longer. I think it was made out of some leftover material, but that's what you're shooting for right there. So you can put this in a 4-jaw chuck. You don't even have to turn it around. You can clamp this very securely into a 4-jaw chuck, and it'll turn just fine. With the laser cut kits, I find it much easier to just make my core block 4.5 inches instead of 3. This works fine unless you're using exotic material, real expensive core material or something that is a special piece and you don't have very much of it. Otherwise, just spring for the extra 1.5 inches. It'll make your life a lot easier, especially lining up everything and getting it on center.